Listen, video games take a lot of work, folks. You know, it's not a one-person job. Yeah, you may think that some lone genius auteur is making your favorite game all by themselves. It's not true most of the time. Typically, it's a lot of people working in concert together, in a hierarchical structure where one person hoovers up all of the profits. But anyway, in the case of Arranger, a role-puzzling adventure, the core team was 4 people, but we had a lot of help. I mean, if you look at the credits, there's tons of people there, from our PR company to porting to quality assurance and all the play testers. But I'll just talk about my particular domain, which is the art department. So you may have had the impression that I did all the artwork for Arranger myself. It's not true. The number of artists that contributed to Arranger was in fact 77. Actually, it was just 7. Does that sound low or high? I was the sole artist at first, but there was a point in development when we realized we were going to need more help to get to the finish line with the quality we wanted and with the scope that we wanted. And so I actually moved into an art director role, which was really interesting. I had to balance doing the sketches that were the basis for all the scenery and the comic book panels that appear throughout the game, with providing support and just making sure that everybody had the information. I was the sole artist, and I laid out a vision and so approach. Yeah, it was like wearing a lot of hats, but it was very rewarding. And one I want to highlight. André Rodrigues was our first painting assistant, doing inks and colors for my sketches, and he jumped in helping me with scenery objects and shards, the comic book panels. I especially love his line quality, which you can see on the fortress in town too. A lot of these high-tech, cluttery things André is really good at.
Hi, my name is Graffam, and I assisted with the background art for Arranger. I'm really excited for people to play through all of the colorful and unique biomes throughout the game.
Graffam is a really talented painter who does a lot of like oil painting with real materials. She does a lot of YouTube videos, which are really worth checking out. I just loved her way of handling color, and as time went on, there are a number of cases where I actually asked her to help me resolve a color palette for a new area. André and Kat were like the twin engines, helping me get through all the scenery and the comic book style shards.
Hi, I'm Enrique Bernardou. I'm a 2D artist in Arranger, a role-puzzling adventure. I'm in charge of the objects you'll see around the map, so keep a close eye to them, because you might find a surprise or two. Hope you enjoy the game.
Enrique is a lovely guy, and his work is different. Enrique came on to help with a different class of artwork, which are grid objects. They're these self-contained things that have to be very iconic and clear. I did all the characters. I've done many of the objects that you see inside Town 1 homes. One thing Enrique did was those types of things for other towns. And I loved his interpretation of these objects for Town 2 because it really speaks to a different cultural context. So there's quite a lot of his work spread throughout the game. The thing that's unique about Enrique compared to the other artists is he was not always working for my sketches. He made these grid objects from scratch. So Adam did our effects, from the static splashing off the blockades when you bump into them, to the rewarding flashes and sparks when a sword collides or a key unlocks a gate, the puffs of dust when the tiles move. These add so much satisfying texture to the interactions. And Adam was also a resource of general art production knowledge and made some key talent referrals. He's a super efficient guy and just sees right to the most direct way of achieving anything. Towards the end of development, in the final weeks really, there was still a lot of art to do. So We hired 2 more people. We would not have finished the game without their help.
Hey, I'm Lynds Gallant. I'm one of the 2D artists who helped out with Arranger, and hope you love it.
Lynds Gallant is a great painter. Her inks and colors here are really detailed and really rewarding to inspect closely. Lynds also, being an art director, was a really valuable resource for me to talk to and helped me make some final decisions, clarifying unresolved color choices and value adjustments to improve legibility in certain areas. Robert Lopatto came in right at the end. I don't have too much art to show of him just because he worked on a lot of things that I consider a little bit spoilery, but he really just hit the ground running and had the style right away and did a ton of drawings. I was really impressed. Now there's one more person to mention. That's Tim Aste. Tim did 2 very important classes of work. First, there's the logo. We love this direction because it felt like playing the game. As your eye traces all these lines connecting and interweaving, it feels like zipping around the grid. The other class of thing that Tim worked on are user interface elements like button prompts, all the stuff you see on the touch version of the game on mobile or Switch. Tim Aste was thorough, did a lot of rapid iterations with excellent notation, and just pushed it right where we needed it to go. So I am very proud of our team. I'm very proud of everybody who contributed to Arranger. Thank you for lending your talents and your time. It's certainly the case that the people who work on this game brought their own techniques, their own sensibilities, which really shine through. I guess my hope is that when people play the game, they'll appreciate that a lot of skill developed over many years and many experiences went into producing this. And yeah, that's what you get with professionals who've devoted their lives to their craft. I'd rather give credit where it's due, and please worship me, but also worship them too, is how I would like to what I would like to propose. And I think you should have time for all of that if you stop doing some of the other shit that you don't need to do. Animal well, that shit isn't real. One guy